Heyo Wastelanders! Today we take a look at the new post from Bethesda, which is all about the AMA that they held on Reddit and some statistics since Wastelanders launched. If you want more news video, funny moments and tips, subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Also come and join our Fallout Discord, and if you really enjoy what we do on the channel, you can become a member or you can support us through Patreon. So let's dive into the news. Last Friday there was an Ask Me Anything on Reddit hosted by developer Jeff Gardinet and Fallout 76 lead quest designer Ferret Baudon. Here are some of the highlights from that AMA. So Azarian Council asked, when should we see a roadmap? And the answer from Bethesda was, we're working on a roadmap right now and hope to have one to you very soon. It will include content for the entire year. It's very nice. Last time the roadmap looked like this is the 2019 roadmap. As you can see, the survival mode there in the bottom is not there anymore. This was the PvP worlds idea, and that didn't really work out. And that now sort of, we got Fallout first instead of that. And Wastelanders has been pushed forward to this year, as we all know. It just came out on the 14th. And this has been the latest sort of the roadmap going from March till May, but it's more a community roadmap, but it has some of the new things in it. The big points in here are probably the new Treasure Hunter event and the Fastnacht event that's coming back to the Wasteland. But we will find out more about upcoming content once we will look at the other highlights from the AMA, so we can sort of figure out what might come during the rest of the year. Next question by Pilaya. Will we see story DLC in the future around the Enclave and or the Brotherhood of Steel? The answer is, let's just say the Brotherhood is now watching the wasteland of West Virginia very closely. So this is one of the more interesting questions because it seems Bethesda is trying to get the Brotherhood back in the Appalachia. Around January 2095, the Brotherhood launched Operation Touchdown, in which they tried to wipe out the Scorched inside their own lair. For a week the Scorched stopped coming, but later they realized the mission failed when they spotted Scorched and Scorched Beast again. Sadly, they lost a big part of their force in that Scorched lair. Then in August, the Brotherhood made their final stand at Fort Defiance. And if you have played Fallout 76, we all know how this ended. It turns out that a small group managed to escape the area, and that is where this question comes in. What will Bethesda have in mind for the beaten Brotherhood of Steel? It can go a few ways, in my opinion then. Either the Brotherhood comes back and much like most factions in the game, you do a couple of quests, grind out some ranks and become a higher ranking member of the faction. A more interesting approach in my opinion would be that much like the Settlers and Raiders, the Brotherhood becomes the third big faction you can join. So in this way, not only are you a Raider or a Settler, but you can actually be part of the Brotherhood of Steel as its own faction, not being related to the Settlers or the Raiders in any way. So next question, will it be possible to have more than one NPC at your camp at a time? The answer was, well, we would love to do this. There are numbers issues that would need to be addressed. Doubling the amount of NPCs in the world comes at a heavy cost. That said, we are patching in a way for folk to dress their companions up using all the costumes they found in our next patch in May. So the dressing up is fun, but I don't see a huge gameplay advantage here unless you have a specific camp look you're going for and you want your allies to look the part. Although, if I have to be honest, I foresee some major issues popping up with this system, so maybe don't put your best gear on them until we are sure that it doesn't disappear when you switch allies or something, or you're trading with them in the trade menu. You can have extra NPCs if you build on a location that has one naturally spawn there, so that's something you can already do in the game right now, so you can have an ally and you can have like a naturally spawned NPC. But yes, these will be different every time they spawn in, so if you really like the look of one, probably will be different next server you hop into. And since we got the pets emotes, you remember that, like the Sid, Trick, those emotes that we got, I guess soon we will be able to have pets at our camp, but that's something of course we don't know yet. Then we have got a question here, any insight on what the legendary perk system is going to entail and also when it might be released? So this summer we're adding legendary perks into the game. These perks are highly powerful and coveted, and players will unlock new slots to fit them in starting at level 50. You can also scrap all of your extra cards to rank these perks up, and when you roll alt characters, these slots will be unlocked on them as well. So this is a feature we have all been wanting for a really long time. Finally, we can get rid of extra cards, and it gives way for new builds in the game, which is very fun. Plus your alts don't have to grind this out, which is nice. How this affects alts in PvP, we have to see. I'm not a big PvP player myself, but it would be interesting to see, because maybe they will be overpowered, or if not, like then they will put in a way that you need a certain amount of special points in order to be able to use these cards. And of course this gives high level players a new thing to do in the game, but of course it's something we've all been waiting for. Very excited for the legendary perk system to come into the game. They didn't really go into detail on what this entails. It's a good change and a very welcome one. Next question, what's the plan with the camp system? You guys keep adding cool stuff to the item store, but the budget is still pretty limited, especially if you try to use display cases. We're looking into both increasing the budget and other quality of live tuning as well. They gave another answer on this question. You want it, and oh my god, the dev team wants it too. One of the greatest joys is sharing the wild and wacky stuff the community does with their camps. But just flat out increasing the budget would have real significant performance ramifications, so it's a balancing act. But we plan on doing some very fun things with camps in 2020. So we got two answers for this question. Increasing the budget and other quality of life. I hope that the quality of life has to do with flattening of surfaces and maybe removal of big rocks and trees. Some of the really big ones you can't remove. They will not be scrapped when you play something. So these are still some issues you run into whilst building up your camp. Also the change where bobbleheads and displayed items and magazine don't take up camp budget. That would be a major thing, because of course you want to show off your magazines and bobbleheads. And then the next answer, we plan doing fun things with camps in 2020. So what exactly are they saying here? Do they plan to expand the camp building, allow you to have like a forward operating base of some sort, or do they just mean to have in-game events with camps? I'm not really sure here, but leave your comments down below what you think these fun things will be. And the increase in budget is of course a welcome change, although I'm a bit disappointed with the Fallout First budget. I would love to be able to build bigger in my private world. Only 8 friends can join anyway, so the performance issue wouldn't happen here. When you join a normal world, you can have another base that is only for normal worlds, and in your private worlds you can have bigger build structures. Let's see if that will be a thing in the future. So next question, will an area texture system be implemented for PC, or has that been scrapped? And the answer here, text chat is something we see requested often. We looked at implementing it in early development. Currently this year we have a number of other quality of life improvements we're tackling. As a PC player, I too would like to get text chat implemented in the future. It's a long requested improvement, the text chat. Personally, I play most of the time with an open mic, but I understand not everyone does this. Plus, we don't want to hear whatever is going on in your house 24/7 for those that don't know their microphone is on. But it would be a fun way to communicate with players across the map and be good for players that don't have a microphone. Let's just hope the chat stays nice and not as toxic in some other games. So please let us be able to turn off the chat. That would be very nice. Next question, are you planning to bring balance changes to energy weapons? And the answer here is we are looking to rebalance the entire game or normalize later this year. This will eliminate a lot of the rough edges in how our zoning system works. Create a more measured and balanced experience for players of all levels. We're looking at everything, not just combat. So this is an interesting point. We have all been in a zone where a level 300 just came through and you're level 30 and you get mauled by a legendary glowing deathclaw. Yeah, that's not the best day in the wasteland for you. But on the other hand, it can be a good way to get some great gear, materials, and just have some fun. So let's hope they balance the game well and it will be more rewarding and fun experience for everyone. The energy weapon change that is actually being asked in this question is a change that has been requested for a long time now. It would be fun to see how new builds emerge when these weapons get balanced. Personally, I would love to run around the wasteland with some nice energy weapons. But yeah, the whole normalizing of the game, of course, it's a very big deal, and a lot of games have done it really well and made it actually really fun. Although I really do love like a difference in areas so like it's a bit level gated. So I hope they work that out in a nice balanced way so we can all enjoy it. So next question, the Wendigo Colossus is really cool. Any plans to make it appear a bit more often and maybe even buff it a bit? And they say here, indeed, not to spoil anything, but we have a brand new event featuring this awesome beast coming this summer. The Colossus is a rare spawn on certain locations, so we understand this is frustrating for a lot of players going through the nuke silos, launch the nukes, only not to have the Colossus spawn. I've seen videos where the fight takes hours and some people, kill it in a couple of minutes. So let's see how they will balance this out. Maybe through the normalized system this will be balanced way better, and a new event is of course very welcome. Maybe it will be like the Scorch Queen, let's wait and see. But for sure it has to spawn a bit more often, and we will see later down if we check out the stats that it didn't spawn that much. Could we get a matchmaking and some sort of group finder for activities like dungeons, raids and events? And the answer here, yes. This summer we are putting in a new team system similar to a public looking for group system where team leaders will appear on the paper map and teams will be further incentivized with group buffs to play events, dungeons and explore together. The Wasteland is more fun with friends. This is a change we are very happy with, and they're 100% right. The Wasteland is more fun with friends. At the moment, when you travel to an event like, let's say, Project Paradise or A Line in the Sand, you just hope there will be another player coming to join you. And I'm not talking about crazy builds, level 300, normal, maybe casual players. Most likely you will not be able to finish these by yourselves. So you're just hoping for other people to come and join you. Sadly, this is not always the case and you could fail the event. Giving buffs to a team is a great way to group up and run some dungeons together. Microphones on and go. The only thing I wonder is how the team leader system will work. You can start a looking for group team and therefore you will be the team leader, or will the game prefer higher level players, or do you need to complete a quest or be a certain rank to become a team leader? These are all things we hope to find out in the near future, but it for sure is a nice change. Hopefully they will add some new dungeons for us to grind through. So these were all the highlighted questions from the AMA. There are loads more, but too much to go over in this video. If you want to read it for yourself, the whole article you can find on Reddit or Bethesda's news page. So the next point of this post was that the public test servers are going to make a return for the upcoming patch. Personally, I'm very happy that Bethesda has decided to test their upcoming patches or content. If they would have done this with the launch of the game, I'm sure Fallout 76 would have received way better reviews than it did. So with that said, this is a good and healthy change. Although the Wastelanders update and release on Steam has done the game some good. Mostly positive reviews on Steam, and Wastelanders give you this Fallout feel. NPCs walking around and some dialogue options. A very welcome change that will hopefully convince others to jump back in or try out the game. For now, the PTS will be available for players that have previously been invited to the PTS, and new spots will probably become available with the June patch. The final point of the post was some fun statistics regarding the Wastelanders update. First of all, this one. Who did you side with? The Raiders or Settlers? As you can see, it's not far off. I was pretty surprised more people went with the Settlers. Most games, or like online games, have a majority of people side with the more evil factions and go up against the good guys, but here that's not the case. Now, to be completely honest, some of these stats have to do with in-game bugs or things that are going on at the moment. That is why they favor one faction or the other. For example, sometimes the Raiders daily quests don't work. I can imagine players decided to go for the safer side and team up with the Settlers. Also, both factions have different rewards, therefore players might prefer one over the other. The second stat is the most nuked settlement, and that is the crater. If you nuke the crater, there's some flux there, like almost every kind that will spawn, and you will have enemies spawn at the crater, just in front of it. Some near Black Bear Lodge and Granager Farm. The NPCs in the crater will just put on hazmat suits and they will just continue sweeping the nuclear fallout off the floor, so no changes inside the crater except for the hazmat suits. So for now it's not the most interesting place to nuke, but who knows what the future brings. Then the third stat is dwellers who kept all the treasure, 58%. This is a stat that will probably change rapidly to a way higher number. In case you didn't know, spoiler alert, at the end of the Wastelanders questline you have to join either the Raiders or the Settlers. After finishing the quest you can decide to keep the gold bullion for yourself or split it with the faction. Now here is where it gets interesting and why the statistic will change. Gold bullions are not easy to get by, so giving half away is not the best choice here, and lots of players have figured this out. The penalty to reputation that you will take is nothing compared to the loss of 500 gold bullion. So therefore, just be the selfish player and keep all the good bullions to yourself. After that, you can just do some reputation grind to get it back to where it was, but that shouldn't take you long. The fourth statistic has to do with a bug in the game. Most common ally in camps, Commander Daguerre. Yes, her backstory is pretty cool and I recommend following her questline, but this is probably not why she is the most common. There are a total of 5 allies that you can recruit in the game. Commander Daguerre and Beckett are the only 2 with a full questline and are also the only 2 that will allow you to trade with them after finishing the quest. Beckett has a bar you can place down and Commander Daguerre has a workstation and an assaultron passing by every now and then, I think she's called Athena, that you will be able to trade with. So both of these have a 1200 cap daily limit, and this limit does not count to the other vendors around the world, their 1500 daily cap limit. This means that now you can sell up to 2600 caps daily. At the moment though, Beckett's trading is disabled due to a bug, and I think it was a duplication bug. That is why most people will have the commander in their camp. Her robot doesn't show up all the time though, and some people haven't seen the robot spawn for days on end. Other people have seen the robot pass by 3 times a day. So it's not really sure how reliable Commander Daguerre's Assaultron vending robot is, but at least it's better than no trading at all. Then the 5th stat is floaters popped, 7,639,485 to be exact. These are the newest enemies in Wastelanders and oh are they annoying. But they give some really good loot. Most times I have seen them spawn in groups of 3, 1 of each type, fire, cryo, poison. They explode when you kill them and do AoE damage for a few seconds after their deaths. Happy days. The 6th stat is Wendigo Colossi topple, 7,122. So then we come back to the thing we talked about before. Not much have spawned. Probably more than I would have thought for an enemy that is so super rare, but of course if we look at it like over the whole world, 7,122 is not that much. Nothing more to say about this one. As mentioned above, they have plans with the Colossus in the future. The 7th stat ties into the last one. Dwellers slain by the Colossus, 23,961. Poor them, rest in peace, and nothing more to say about this. And the 8th and final stat is the amount of pepperoni rolls scarfed, and actually I had to read up on this one to understand it, but apparently the pepperoni roll is a staple of West Virginia food culture. We all learned something here today. Even on our Discord we have people baking pepperoni rolls, so big shout out to Heartache for making these delicious pepperoni rolls. And with that we have come to the end of this video. I hope you all enjoyed and learned something new about the upcoming changes, events and statistics about Fallout 76. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section down below. Like if you like the video and don't forget to subscribe. Links are down below if you want to join our Discord, and if you want to support the show you become a member of the channel or support us through Patreon. Thank you very much for watching and we'll see you in the next Fallout video. Bye now.